Hello everyone, I am Mr. PSRB Shashank, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of CSE in the college B.V. Raju Institute of Technology, Narsapur. From the course Computational Thinking and Programming, I am going to deal with recursive functions. So, what is a recursive function? Recursive is nothing but reoccurring of a particular task. Recursive function is nothing but reoccurring of a particular process or reoccurring of a particular function, or you can say it as a function whichever is calling itself is called as a recursive function. So, we will see what is a recursive function. So, if I am having a function like this, let me say it function 1, I will say I have a function 1 of a. So, I will say this is returning an integer. So, let me say a is holding up to an element such as a value is something called as 4. I want to perform this function repeatedly until this a becomes 0, If a becomes 0, I need to get back to that original function. That means reoccurring of that same function, I need to make this function reoccur, repeat. So, how can you make it as a repeated type of function? Like this. If I am having a function like this, so first part is I will say if I will take a condition a equal to 0, I will take a condition when I need to stop this particular one, if a is 0, a equal to 0, then I need to stop. What I will do? I will just give return something called as 0. A equal to 0, return something called as 0. So, if a equal to 1, so I will give something called as other than 0, else what I need to do? I need to have 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, and if it is 0, I need to stop. 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 4 means what? Directly I will write it as 4, 3 means what? In the next iteration 4 plus 4 minus 1, in the next iteration 4 plus 3 plus 3 minus 1, in the next iteration 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 minus 1. This will be the process. So, what I need to give? I will give something called as return statement. In that return statement, what I will give first? First one is 4. 4 means what? 4 is with a plus. After this, what you have? Plus a minus 1. So, I will give something called as a plus a minus 1. So, before that I will give function 1. So, you can understand this with a value is nothing but 4 plus function 1 of 4 minus 1. So, again on seeing function 1 of 4 minus 1, control will jump to this particular one. So, function 1 of 4 minus 1 is 3 equal to 0, condition will be failed. It will come to which part? Else part. In else part, return a. So, here a value is nothing but 3. Again a minus 1, 3 plus function 1 of 3 minus 1. On seeing this function 1 of 3 minus 1, again control will jump to this particular function. Here this will be 3 plus function 1 of 3. See, 3 minus 1 is nothing but 2. So, 2 plus function 1 of 2 minus 1. Again this will be 2 minus 1 is 1 plus function 1 of 1 minus 1. So, function 1 of 1 minus 1 is 0. See, if 0 equal to 0, it will return an answer as 0. it will repeat up to the function 1 will be gone. That means what? It will get an answer. Up to it gets an answer, the function will repeat up to whole part. So look at this again. If I am having, the main thing about recursive function is reoccurring of a task. I will show like this here. I will give a function now. I will say a function which is called as factorial function. Factorial function. So if I am saying about factorial function, that means, so if I am saying 5 factorial, that is nothing but 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That means if I am going beyond 1, it should stop. If I am going beyond 1, if I am having 0 now, that means all the answer will be 0. So it should stop at 1. So how your recursive function works, that is the main point. If I am having like this function 1 of a, if I am giving again the same one, if I am calling the same one function 1 of a here also again, that means I am calling this same function inside that function. That part is called as your recursive function. If I am calling like this without ending of a particular function, this will go to infinite loop. Why? Because function 1 of a is called, again it will go to this particular one, again this function 1 of a is called, it will go to particular one. There is no ending of a particular function. If you want to end a particular function, you need to have a particular condition for that. So I will explain that with a program which is called as factorial program. So 5 factorial, if I want to find 5 factorial, so I need to have 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So I will say 5 into 4 factorial. Again 4 factorial, we can make it as what? 4 into 3 factorial. Again 3 factorial, we can make it as what? 3 into 2 factorial. 2 factorial, we can make it as 2 into 1 factorial. So 1 factorial, again if you want, you can make it as 1 into 0 factorial. So if you get the answer as 0, you need to stop that particular iteration. If you get the answer as 0, you need to stop that particular iteration. As it is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2, this will be like this, into n minus 3 like this, into n minus 4. This will be like this. If I am going to 0, I need to stop that particular iteration. So look at this. I will take factorial. I will take something called as factorial function. So in this factorial function, I will give like this. I am passing n to this particular function. I am passing n to that particular function. So what is the first thing I need to have? N into n minus 1 factorial. So I will write it as what first? N into n minus 1. N into n minus 1. I will just write little far. So first is I will write fact of 5. N value is 5. Let me say it. N into fact of n minus 1. So this value will be 5 into fact of 4. This value will be 5 into fact of 4. Now if I am saying fact of 4, this is a function call. This function call will automatically jump to the first one. This function call will automatically jump to the first iteration. That means this particular line with n value as 4. With n value as 4. Now all the things whichever that are there in this factorial will be executed and it will come to n into factorial of n minus 1. It will come to n into factorial of n minus 1. So where I need to stop? I need to stop at 0. So I will say if n equal to 0. So n equal to 0, I will return something called as 1. Else n into fact of n minus 1. Else that should be n into fact of n minus 1. Now look at this. In the first iteration, n value is 5. N equal to 5. 5 equal to 0? No, condition failed. So first it will check this condition first. phi equal to 0, condition is failed, it will come out of that if block. Now it will be in else block. In else block, 5 into fact of 5 minus 1, that is nothing but 4. 5 into fact of 4. On seeing fact of 4, it will jump to this particular one with n value as 4. Now in this process, 4, this will be n value will be 4. 4 equal to 0? No. Again condition fails, it will come to else block. 4 into fact of 4 minus 1. 4 into fact of 4 minus 1. In the next iteration, it will be fact of 3 now. In place of n, 4 is replaced with 3. Now this will be 3 into fact of 3 minus 1. So this will be fact of 2 now. In place of 3, that should be 2. 2 equal to 0, again condition fails, it will come to else block. So this will be 2 into fact of 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is what? 1. So this will be 1. Again with value as 1, it will enter into the block. So I can give 1 into fact of 0. 1 into fact of 0. So if I am giving 1 into fact of 0, now fact of 0 is n value is 0. With value as 0, it will enter into that particular function. 0 equal to 0, yes, condition is satisfied. So this will return an answer as what? 1. So now you got an answer. 1 into 1, you got an answer for fact of 0. So I will write something called as return here, return n into fact of n minus 1. So 1, again it is going to which part? 1 answer is given to which one? Total part, which is called as fact of 1. 2 into 1, 2 is given to which one? Fact of 2. 3 into 2, 3 into 2 is nothing but 6, 6 is given to which one? Fact of 3. 6 into 4, 24 is given to which one? Fact of 4. 24 into 5, 24 into 5 is 120, this is given at the end. That means on seeing return, this will come out of this particular function and it will go to the previous function call. This will come out of this particular function, it will go to previous function call. This will come out of the particular function, it will go to previous function call. Again this will go to the previous one, again this will go to the previous one. This is how a recursive function occurs. That means reoccurring of the same task. This is the same, reoccurring of the same particular task. So let me say that, see what is the return type of this function? Integer type. Let me see that with a program. So I will take I will give int n, printf, enter n value to find factorial, scanf %d ampersand n. So I need to have 3 parts now. First part is function declaration. So I will say fact. So I will say fact of int, and I am just passing one thing here. Function name is fact. So what I need to return? I need to return a value which is called as integer value. So fact of, I am passing n to this particular function. After passing, I am going to the function definition part. So I will just give fact of n. So before that int. So what I need to have? If n equal to 0, take n equal to 0, return 1, else return n into fact of n minus 1, else return n into fact of n minus 1. So we need to print a particular one here. I will take result equal to, and I will initialize, I will declare result printf factorial of these %d. Factorial of n is result. So n equal to 0, I am returning something called as 1, else return n into fact of n minus 1. So, I will just execute this, enter n value to find factorial. So, if I am just giving 5, factorial of 5 is 120. So, what happens at every iteration is, first it will take the value of n. So, let me say n value at this particular position, it is nothing but 5. So, fact of 5, on seeing fact of 5, it will jump to this particular part. It will jump to this particular part. 5 equal to 0, no, it will go to else part. Return 5 into fact of 5 minus 1. Fact of 4, fact of 3, 2, 1, 0. If it is 0, it will come to this block and it will return an answer as 1. It will return an answer as 1. Again, if it is 1, it will give the answer to the previous iteration, 2 into fact of 0. So, or 1 into fact of 0, 2 into fact of 1, 3 into fact of 2, 4 into fact of 3, 5 into fact of 4. So, it will iterate all the things and it will give the value to this particular fact of n. At the end of this recursive function, the whole value is taken and stored in something called as return n into fact of n minus 1. And I am giving this to result, and result is printing whatever the value that is there like this. If I am taking 6 factorial, so it should be 720, 6 into 120, 720. So, this is about your recursive function. So, there are some limitations of recursive functions. See, if I am giving like this, if I am not stopping this one, look at this, n equal to 0, if I am not stopping in anything like this. If I am just giving like this without stopping, if I am giving 5, it will not give any value. Why? Because it is going on iterating, no value is given there. Why? Because fact of n minus 1 will never stop. Fact of n minus 1 will never stop. At any point of time, it will never stop. If I am printing like this, look at this, printf n is percentage t comma n. If I am giving some value 5, n is 5 first, n is 4 next, 3, 2, 1 like this. If I am not giving anything, if I am not giving any statement, and if I am just giving an not stopping statement, now look at this, if I am giving 5 here, it is going on giving the values, it will never stop, it will go to never ending loop. So, you cannot have a recursive function without a particular condition. If you are having a recursive condition, recursive function without a condition, it may go to infinite loop, it may go to your infinite type of loop. So, this is just a basic example of your recursive type of function. So, if you want to find sum of elements in this recursive function, sum of natural numbers, I will replace this with fact with natural. I will replace that fact with what? Natural. So, I will give this as natural. So, in place of this I will give natural. So, in place of multiplication I will give sum of natural numbers, n plus natural of n minus 1. So, if n equal to 0, that should return 0, that should not return 1. So, I will just give like this, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 3 is 12, 13, 14, 15. So, in place of factorial I should give it as what? Sum of natural numbers. So, like this, sum of natural numbers up to 5 is 15. So, in place of that you can have multiplication and you can have factorial, or you can have sum of natural numbers, both the things you can have like this. See, in some of the programming languages, a recursive function will not have more than 1000 iterations. In some of the programming languages, maximum number of iterations will be 1000 for your particular recursive function. In your turbo C, if you are not giving in your turbo C or dev C or any C editors, if you are not giving a stop index for your recursive function, it will iterate around its range. How much range that is there, that much range it will iterate. So, this is how about your recursive function. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.